Welcome and thank you for tuning into the JoyTutor Podcast. I am your host, JoAnna Williams. Together, we will unpack, learn, teach, and celebrate the journey of emerging entrepreneurs and courageous trailblazers. Let's dig in. Hey, love. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the JoyTutor Podcast. I am so happy to have you here. When I read your application, I was like, oh my God. She said, all things girly, a bakery. How can I get there? I am so excited to hear and share your journey. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Nairovir. I go by Nairo, which is essentially the name of my business with by Nairo. I'm excited to be here.
Give us the background of your love for baking.
It is a really funny story. I didn't start baking because I had a love or passion for baking. It's just we needed extra money. And my partner at the time was just like, I don't have any money to get to work. So I said, I thought about school bake sales and stuff like that. So I was like, we got money to get you on the train to work. I'm going to bake some brownies. You need to do the legwork, sell them at work, and then you'll have the money to come back home. And it worked. And ever since then, I started exploring like other things. I started with the brownies, but then I went to chocolate covered strawberries, and I fell in love with just being able to be creative, seeing what I could do. Like I'm good at this. I'm self-taught. I learned a lot of the stuff that I've been doing on YouTube, on Facebook. I did take like a few classes when I wanted to like start to scale up and make cakes. That was like a trial and tribulation for me.
They say opportunity births creation
Yes.
very often. And just your drive and your motivation, problem solving skills, to jump in.
I was like, we're gonna figure this out, okay? We're gonna get you there and you gotta get yourself back, okay?
Oh my God. So please fill us in as far as what has happened since that day to now.
At the time, it wasn't even with Love by Nairo. That's not what I was calling my business. It was PBM treats galore. But for me, it was just like once I started to grow in my business, I was like, that's hard for people to remember. Letters are tripping people up. And it's just very long and not something that I could really market, quote unquote. Anybody that like goes to my social media or like talks to me, they probably think that it's been so easy, but it has not. At all. I've gone through bad customer experiences when I was first starting out. People not too happy with the quality of my work. My boyfriend always says, you can't just want to get to the end. The path and the road that you're taking, that's what builds character. I'm very big on just building customer relationships. But like I always say, I'm open to constructive criticism because I want to be better and I want to do better. Let's work together. And so I feel like having that open mindedness has gotten me to where I'm at today because I started this in 2017. I could have gave up then, when I got my first, this wasn't great, whatever it was. I could have gave up then, but I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. And when I couldn't figure it out myself, I was like, let me take a class. Let me really sharpen my skills because I love doing this. And it's not just about the decor, right? How things look is important, but once you put it in your mouth, like it has to have the same girl. This tastes just as good as it looks. I come from immigrant parents. We were chatting before just about breaking barriers and beating the odds when it comes to being a child of immigrant parents who only believe in working. I don't really want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I knew that very early on. Let me tell you, I've done a little bit of everything. I've had a blog page before and I wasn't really passionate about that. I wasn't really feeling fulfilled. So I was like, this is not it for me. I'm like, I don't want to be reporting on people's business. That doesn't pay my bills. I also did a jewelry line, which I started with my sister. But my sister was a little impatient. She was just like, we're not making money fast enough. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, do you know that entrepreneurs, they go years putting out their own money and like doing things, figuring out self-learning, ebooks, all this stuff until they get it together. Sometimes it's not even till like year 10 that they really start being profitable and just can really say, I made it. For me, it was more of like, let me find something that I'm good at that I can do by myself. I don't have to depend on someone to be an investor or anything like that. I can build it from the ground up. And that's literally what I've done since 2017.
I'm proud of you for
Thank
sticking it out.
you.
Not often enough do we hear I'm proud of you. So I see you, love. I see that you did not give up. I do try to patronize intentionally Black-owned bakeries, but my struggle is that they do not stay open long enough.
It's
Like,
because
come
of the lack of support.
well, I'm here to support you. Yeah, we're going to show up and show out. That's why I'm just putting it out here and having it on record. Listeners, when she does open up her storefront, we're going to show up and show out. Okay. We're going to come with the Keith Lee effect. That's the energy that we're building up to. I created this space for you so that you can have that support when that day comes, when you have your ribbon cutting. And so we're going to build up to that. But where we are today, how do you make the magic happen?
Listen, it's a lot. I do work a full-time job as well. I get off at 6 on my lunch break. Like, I just take advantage of whatever opportunity is presented to me. And when I say that, I really mean any opportunity that's presented to me. I work in the city. So on my lunch breaks, there's a cake supply store nearby. I'm like, all right, lunch break. I got to get this. I got to pick up this. I got to pick up this. There's a Michael's by there. So I'm like, okay, I need this. I need this. I need this. Let me get all that on my lunch break. Like, I'm not even eating on my lunch breaks, like, because I'm so invested. Even like if I don't have orders, I'm walking around the city, I'm handing my business cards, I'm talking to people, I'm stopping people in the street, and they may think I'm crazy, but I'm passionate, like I said, and I'm very invested. I feel like if you don't do it, like no one's gonna do it for you. You have to believe in yourself. That's what I use to get me through my day to day, because let me tell you, it is not easy. I schedule my orders and anything that I have to get done around my work schedule, essentially. But it's just about believing in yourself and staying consistent. Sometimes, I do, my mental health is really important. So sometimes I do get in those spaces where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything today. Like, I just want to stay in the bed. And then I have like people writing me in my DM, like, oh my God, this is so cute. And that's like the only inspiration that I need. I'm like, let me get up. Let me get up and keep going, because the people that support me and really believe in me, I do this. I do this for myself, but like I do it for them too. It's really important. I don't like letting people down. And sometimes that could be a blessing and a curse at the same time, because boundaries. I definitely just take advantage of any opportunity that's given to me. I've been doing this since 2017, but I just started doing pop-up shops this year. That has just opened a whole other door for me when it comes to networking, right? Because really, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm very bubbly. Like I was telling you earlier, you put me in a room and it's like I draw people, and I'm all about go big or go home. So like presentation has to be good. Outfit check has to be good. Vibe check has to be good. Like everything has to be good, and aligned. I feel like the pop-up shop has definitely opened up like a huge door for me. And just being able to meet other small business owners. I've met people that are like on MTV and they're like, I love your brands. Like, and it blows my mind every time because I'm like, I'm just scratching the surface. I haven't even gotten to where I want to be yet. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next 5, 6 years.
You mentioned that you work your 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. And I just did a video that I said I would post on TikTok around the journey of getting to where we want to be. So for me, it is one of the milestones when we are completely working for ourselves full time, 100%. And I thought about that today because I had to go into the office because I too have a 9 to 6. And I came in, had to take the train in from Manhattan back into Queens. And the train dropped me back into Queens at 6 o'clock. And I had 2 podcast interviews, you included, for tonight. So that meant I had 30 minutes to get home and get set up. And as I felt that frantic, anxious energy come up, I had to stop and say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We said we were booked and busy this year, and I am booked and busy. And so I had to stop for a second and just go into the space of gratitude that thank you, Creator. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels, for giving me the strength, the joy, and the blessings to work my day job, finance my dreams, take care of my family where I do not have to work out of desperation. And I'm doing it with ease, which is my word for the year. My message to anyone who is doing both, it's okay to be in that space. For anyone who feels overwhelmed and stressed about doing it, you are doing a great job. Thank you, love, for being on the show today and confirming what I'm saying about working the 9 to 6, as well as building your dreams in the process, but enjoying the journey, right? Enjoying because the transition is going to happen when it's meant to be. It will come with ease. And I'm not going to put any pressure on myself to say, oh, Joe, you need to be out a year or 6 months. No, I'm just going to go with the flow. And when the money starts flowing, the booking starts flowing to the point where I have to say, okay, well, this has been fun, corporate space. I have to break up with you.
Sometimes you get in your head so much that you have to step out of your own self. And I struggle with that. My partner's really good in just being like, okay, breathe, calm down. It's not the end of the world. I feel like it also, you have to be self motivated, but like it really has a big impact on you and your life and like just your journey overall when you have people that support you. You can't put a price on it because your mental health, if you're not there, everything else crumbles. Like that's your foundation for everything, right? So I really like what you said with about like doing it with ease. I'm going to use that one because that is really what it's about.
Like you said, you're the first generation to be an entrepreneur. Same for me with my family. So not only are we trauma healers, I'm no longer trauma bonding. I am now wealth bonding, legacy bonding. What has been your experience as you are growing as an entrepreneur, business owner with the family around you and people watching you in your shadow as you grow?
I have no complaints. Like I'm telling you, I have such a solid support system. When I had my first pop up shop, all of my family came out. My cousins, my sister, everybody came out. And I really genuinely felt the love. Anything that I do, they've been very supportive of. I really appreciate that because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did if I didn't have that. Makes me want to keep going. You know that song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now? Like, that's really how I feel because I just have really solid people in my corner. Thank God I've never struggled with that.
What do you foresee over the next couple months?
Expansion that's with Love by Nairo is more than just desserts. I really think that I have a gem. I feel like it's a brand, it's a movement. When I tell people to come out to the pop up shops that I'm going to be at, I'm never like, come shop with us. I'm always like, come vibe with us. You come, we laugh, we joke, we have a good time. You can see my setup. Just come and catch a vibe with us, seeing where else I can go. You know, right now it's been like, let me try this. It doesn't work. Okay, I won't do that again. Let me try that. It worked. Okay, great. But like for me right now, pop-up shops are really going to be my thing for the rest of the summer. I will say that pop-up shops, sometimes they can be hit or miss, but always a hit when it comes to like meeting great people. And for any like entrepreneurs or small business owners out there, like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Be yourself. You can have the best tasting treats ever, the most top notch. But like if your personality is not there, it won't really take you far. So be yourself, be friendly, talk to people, get to know people because you really don't know who's gonna change your life. Like, look, we just met and I was like, where are you located? You're like, Queens. I'm like, wait. It's just like the stars align and the universe always responds to the real you, not
Yes.
who you pretend to be. Keep that in mind if you're feeling like this is not really going the way that I thought it was. Sometimes we have to self-evaluate and check ourselves
Yeah.
and just say, okay, what am I doing wrong? And what could I be doing better? And don't beat yourself up over mistakes because that's where the learning happens. That's where character is built. I've gone through my trials and tribulations. I'm not going to lie to you and, sit here and say like everything has been great. I am very excited to see where I'll be in like the next 3 to 5 years because My vision, sometimes I feel like it's bigger than my brain.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I am team doing too much over here. Pop-up shop been popular, I should say, over the past couple years. What tips or tricks do you have or advice? What have you learned from it? What's good or what's the bad?
I got a lot. I have a lot of tips. First, get there early. That's the number one. Like if they tell you setup starts at 12, be there at 11:45 because you want to get the best spot. You want to get that initial traffic, right? If you're downstairs or you're in the backyard or you're for me, I always want to be upstairs where I can get like the initial traffic only because, by the time some folks get downstairs, they've kind of already spent their budget with the people upstairs. So always try to get the best spot possible. I will also say your setup. Your setup is going to set you apart from everybody else. On Sunday, I'm doing another pop-up shop on Nails on 7th, which is like a really popular nail salon. A lot of like celebrities go there, Cardi B, Kimbella, Yandy. The two other pop-up shops that I've had, I can see when people walk in and looking directly at my table. Why? Because I'm the only one that has a backdrop. I have my grass wall. Go big or go home is my theme. Like I have my LED sign with my business name on it. I have my tablecloth with my logo on it. Whatever draws people's attention, that's what they're going to go to. Be there on time or early if you can to get a good spot and make sure that your setup is giving what it's supposed to give.
If it's given struggle, it will
You know what I'm
struggle.
saying? Like if it's giving struggle, then we
Yeah.
got some work to do.
People identify, they associate the branding with price and branding with quality. So that's a great tip. Anything that you shouldn't do or you would advise against.
No, I don't have anything that you shouldn't do. I'm a big believer in try it and see if it works. If it didn't work, next pop-up shop, you know better. We're our own biggest critics. I'm going through my videos of my pop-up shops before, which shout out to my boyfriend because he's always the cameraman. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm going through my videos and I'm like, man, I don't like the way that I had those cake jars sitting stacked on top of each other on the table like that. I'm going to get a stand to give it like a little height. Just learn. You can't avoid making mistakes.
Yeah.
It may not be a big mistake, but even something you're like, okay, next time I'll do that better. Next time I'll do this like this. Next time I'll do this like that. Believe in yourself. Don't take no for an answer. If someone tells you no, let me tell you, somebody else is going to tell you yes. One of the things that I've been like struggling with right now is trying to find my lane when it comes to building business credit. I applied for a business credit card. I got denied and I was beating myself up. I'm like, man, forget this. No. After I threw my little tantrum. I have really solid people in my corner. So I have a lot of friends that like they have their own businesses. They do pop-up shops. They've been doing pop-up shops. So they're like, this is what you need. This is what you need. I was so against making a website, but my friend was like, immediately no. Your business needs to have a home. You need
Yes.
to have a professional email. You need
Yes.
to one thing about me is I take advice. And let me tell you, when you listen, you get a lot of free game. People tell you stuff, just listen and write it down. I'm the queen of like, what'd you say again?
Yes. Right before we start, I was like, hey, sis, about your email, because
Yeah.
your brand is too cute. We have to get rid of the Gmail. All right. Because banks want to see that professional email accepting and receiving advice, right? And feedback goes a long way.
Yeah, it changes the course of so many things for you. And of course, you have people that they sell their knowledge, they capitalize on it. But if you have people in your circle that are telling you, hey, maybe you should listen, because sometimes we're our own worst enemies with that. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to take every advice that someone gives you, right? Because it may not align with who you are and your business and your brand. Like, for example, when you told me the email, I said, girl, I'm already on it.
You
Like, I
on it.
already changed it. I'm not the type of person that's not going to take advice. I think that's important in friendships, that's important in relationships overall. Sometimes we don't know better.
Yeah. Yeah. I say it all the time. It takes a village to
Yes.
help grow an entrepreneur and to build your dream and build a brand. Any advice that you would give to someone who's considering or wanting to start their own bakery or baking company?
Do a lot of research. Through doing a lot of research, you'll avoid a lot of mistakes. Like I said before, you may not avoid all of them, but you can cut down on the number of mistakes that you make. I will also say find you a mentor. Find you someone who already owns their own business. Look up vendors or companies, see how they promote their stuff. Sign up for their email list. A friend of mine told me that the other day. A friend that I met at a pop-up shop, by the way, y'all. I was like, sis, I need help with like this email list because I'm working on my website. And once I launch it, I'm going to be like, sign up for my email. But what am I talking about in my emails? And she's just like, sign up for other bakers' emails, see what they're promoting, find your inspiration anywhere. There's inspiration everywhere. I was telling you before with my logo, that was from a picture of a photo shoot that I went to Cuba. Inspiration is everywhere. You just have to look and slow down. That's
Yes.
another thing, slow down.
I'm working on slowing down.
It's hard for us because,
Oh,
people like you and I don't believe in slowing down. I feel like if I'm slowing down, I'm not doing anything. I'm not being productive, and that bothers me. I'm like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. I always have 1,000 tabs open in my head, literally like a computer. We have to start closing those. Like close one, close another, close another, close another, so that you can make space for other things. You're
yes.
not going to make space for other things if you have all these things going on. You're just going to start something and not finish it. And we don't want to do that. Not in 2023.
Well, all great advice for sure. What specifically do you sell? Is it cakes? Is it cupcakes? Is it custards? What can folks buy from you?
I make a little bit of everything. I try not to shy away from things, like even if I've never made it before. If my customer wants it, again, I'll do my research and I'll make it happen. But really, like what I specialize in is chocolate covered strawberries. I do make custards like flan, cupcakes. I make cakes, cake pops, pretzels. I have assortment boxes that you could get a little bit of everything in. I pretty much make everything. I have my little appetizers, trying to tap into my Latin background. When we go to pop-up shops, I always have chicken empanadas. I do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Y'all want to see more, y'all can come to my Instagram. For now, next time Joy interviews me, I will have a website.
Yes, definitely check her out. And because I am local, I will be popping up to make sure that I'm tasting your treat, supporting you. Share with the audience, what events do you have coming up in the next couple of weeks?
I'll be at Nails on 7, which is a nail salon in the Bronx. August 26th will be at House of Galore, which is in Brooklyn. I'll post more of that on my Instagram. So please follow. And we have merch. Cute. Okay. I make these myself.
Thank you.
So, support.
Definitely support, no doubt about it. That's why I created this space, like I said before, just to promote you for the free 99. I
I
mean,
appreciate that.
you are
Like,
most welcome.
listen, God is going to bless you big for that. And you have this platform right now where you came up as an ad on my Instagram.
Now, mind you, I've been running ads for years, but this ad took off.
I said, it's a Black woman promoting small businesses for free. Oh, I have to sign up for this. At first, I didn't know. I'm not going to lie. Like, at first, I hadn't heard of JoyTutor prior to seeing the ad. So I was like, is this a scam?
As
Like,
you should feel that way. Listen, you and the listeners question everything because that's the times that we're in.
yes. So I was like, is this a scam? I was like, you know what? I feel like if it is, it'll reveal itself throughout the process. So I filled out the application. There wasn't, by the way, guys, please fill out Joy Tutor's application. Please come on the podcast. The application didn't have too many personal questions. So I felt comfortable answering the questions and providing my logo and stuff like that because, I was concerned about trademarking and stuff like that. So I'm like, like I really
Yeah.
put in a lot of work into all of this. I don't want anybody to, but I'm really happy that I feel like the stars aligned. Like
Yeah.
I said that before. Like I feel like we were meant to meet.
Yes, definitely. When I tell you it is such a blessing to do these interviews because I meet so many amazing and dope women from all walks of life, from different entrepreneur backgrounds. This is part of my self-care. This is part of refilling my joy cup because I'm just so proud and so honored to be in the space where these courageous trailblazers like yourself have just said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I'm doing it. And while you do have challenges and trials and tribulations, you persevere and you're resilient.
Yes. I've been working in corporate America since I was like, I mean, like when you're a teenager, you could get a little work permit card that they give you at school.
Yeah.
I've been working since I was 14, since I was young enough to work. It's time for me to build my own generational wealth and not continue to build wealth for someone else. Obviously, it's going to take time, and I'm not discouraged by the time that it's going to take, because I know when we get there, you and I both,
Yeah.
and listeners that are listening,
Yep.
when we get there, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, wow, we did that.
We did it. We did it. Tell folks how they can get in contact with you.
Right now, my website is still under construction. Soon to come, though, for sure. I'm trying to work on it myself, and it's taking me a little longer because I don't want to pay to have somebody do it for me. So I've been doing what I did when I started baking, which is going on YouTube. YouTube University is free. Right now, you can either email me. My business email is sayhello@withlovebynairo.com. My Instagram, withlovebynairo. And then also on Facebook as well. It's facebook.com/withlovebynairo.
I built my own website, but I did use the Wix platform, and I'm actually really good at building websites. I still got you, sis. I can help you in the background. So you don't have to be over there struggling with that website. All right.
I'm for all of it. I spend like a whole hour just playing with the thing. And then I'm like, okay, I finally figure it out. But now I want to change it because I don't like how it looks anymore. And I can't remember what I did to get it in the first place.
You are not alone. I'm sure there is someone right now on that same struggle bus with the website situation. But I will say, from past interviews, the easy button is just to pay somebody, but you then run into, who do I pay? Like, you don't want to get ripped off, et cetera, et cetera. It was such an honor and a pleasure having you, honey.
Same. I'm so happy. I was so nervous at first, but this was great. It was amazing. And like I told you before, it's only up from here.
Yes, no need to be nervous. You do not have to be nervous when you in your own house. This is our space. We are building our own tables. As I was telling you before we started, JoyTutor will be hosting our first high tea event September 30th. Because I went to the plaza in Manhattan and they handled me a little too rough for my liking. And the only difference was the color of my skin. So guess what we're doing in 2023? We are creating our own space and our own high tea table. How about that?
Yeah.
I look forward to having you there. Thank you
Yes,
for joining us. Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Before you head out, we do have 2 events coming up. We have a virtual networking event that is hosted on July 13th, as well as a high tea. Yes, honey, I said high tea. We will be networking in Elegance Love, held on September 30th in Brooklyn, New York. You can register for both events at JoyTutor.com. And last but not least, if you haven't already, you can check out our Entrepreneur Planner, which is available for purchase at JoyTutor.com, or you can find it at Barnes & Nobles. We would love to get social with you, so check us out and follow us, and we'll follow you back under the handles JoyTutor Inc. or JoyTutor. Until next time, take care.